These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
It only happens every 4 years, and this time it's here. The biggest tournament in the world. Stadium shaking, flags waving. This is history, and you want to be there. But real life can make it tough. Work, busy schedules, and the price. That's where Priceline comes in. Priceline has millions of deals on flights, hotels, and rental cars so you can go see it live. So find a great deal and make the trip happen. Rally the crew, go see the game live, turn your dream trip into reality. Book now with Priceline.
Hey, weirdos, I'm Ash.
And I'm Elena.
And this is Morbid.
It's a morbid, and this is a very important morbid. We're excited to share this one because a lot of people have requested it. We're going to be covering Vanessa Guillen today. We're going to do it. But before we jump in, we just have like 2 little things that we just wanted to throw at you.
Yes.
The first one, I don't even know why I'm saying this. I think it's just to...
But I was confused.
We had a couple of people in the last episode. I think I mentioned that like Europe has such a long history, and they have castles that date back so long, and we don't have that in the United States.
And you were talking about like buildings.
What I was talking about was that when you go to Europe, you get to see buildings that are very old. That's
all I thought you were talking about. And I was like, yeah, we don't have any cool ass buildings here.
No.
Well, there's like a sprinkling.
I think majority of people understood what I was saying there, but a few people got very angry at me about it.
Just to clarify.
So I just wanted to acknowledge that there was a whole history before, Alexander Hamilton and all that mess.
Oh, God. Okay, you can stop now before you start like rapping Hamilton in the beginning of this podcast.
But yeah, so I just wanted to point out that I know there was history before that. I acknowledge that history. I was talking about buildings.
Buildings.
So, just buildings. That's all I was talking about. So
well,
I'm sorry if that wasn't clear, but here it is. It's clear.
Listen. In lighter news, we're going to talk about a different building where we're going to have a live show.
Yippee!
But you can't come.
You can't because of the Rona.
But you can buy tickets to tune in to said live show.
Yay!
So July 23rd, we are actually going to be at AS 220 where we did our first live show.
Yes.
Which is super fun. And there's going to be nobody there except me, Elena, and Annie. No, Annie will not be in the show, nor will John, but they'll be there in spirit or in the chairs. You can, the link right now, if you want to buy tickets, is in our Instagram bio. It's also in Twitter. And I'll like reshare it again.
And I'm going to post it on the website too, so it'll be on morbidpodcast.com.
And a big portion of our proceeds is going to be going to the Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Yes, because we love that charity.
We do, and we are so excited to do this show. It has a really fun theme.
Yeah, we're theming this fully out.
I just got my outfit the other day, and I sent Elena a picture, and I was like, I'd like to wear this elsewhere, too. And you were like, that's awesome, do it.
Because we could have totally just been like, you know, we could have been normal about this, but...
Are we normal?
You know, we're not normal, and also... During Rona times, it's like, why not make this just like a really
super fun,
really campy, awesome time? So,
and it's like, I feel like it's going to be a good preview for what we do have planned for live shows when they're like back on schedule.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be putting a lot of work and a lot of cool ambiance on the stage.
It's true.
It's going to be pretty cute.
We're up in the game.
Yeah.
We are.
So definitely go get tickets to that. It's going to be a really fun night. You get to, there's like a link, you have to download an app and then you sign in on that app and that's how you watch. So you can do it on like your computer. If you're fancy, you can hook it up to your TV. I don't know how you guys do that.
Yeah, I'm always impressed by that.
I think it's literally just an HDMI cord, but I don't understand.
But hashtag old.
But yeah, so do that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
It is. We're excited. So definitely do it. We're excited about it. And that's really all we had to touch upon. So
yeah,
I think we want to jump into the Vanessa Guillen case because, wow. Like, I knew this case was there was a lot of moving parts.
Like,
and I knew it was crazy, but I did not know all of the things. And when I dove into it, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, this case is bananas.
It's banana pancakes. So we're going to jump right into this talking about Vanessa Guillen was one of 6 kids in her family. She grew up in Houston. She wanted to join the army. Everyone in her family and everyone who knew her says she wanted to join the army since she was a little girl.
Aww.
Like, that was her thing. Her mother, Gloria Guillen, said as young as 10 years old, she said she was going to enlist in the military.
Wow.
What a badass.
I was going to say, badass vibes.
She was always ready to serve this country. Like, she was like, I want to fight for this country. I want to protect people. I want to be a hero. Like, she was all about it.
What a noble 10-year-old.
Right? And you know what? And as soon as she finished high school at Cesar E. Chavez High School in 2018, she enlisted.
Wow.
Immediately.
So she was stuck true to her words. She was like, we're doing the damn thing.
Yeah, she was not all talk. She was stationed at Fort Hood in Texas. She was a super active woman, loved going to the gym, loved playing soccer according to her family. She was outgoing. She was funny. Just, you know, she's what you see in the pictures of her.
Right.
Basically, like, she kind of like exudes who she was.
What you see is what you get.
Yeah. She was in a relationship with a man named Juan Cruz when she went missing.
Okay.
He was very active in asking for help finding her. I just feel bad for Juan.
That's really
I just wanna
sad.
give Juan a hug. For about 3 weeks before her disappearance, she was acting strangely.
Okay.
This was according to her mother. It was according to her sisters,
The people
that
who
were
knew
very
her
close
best.
to her. They said, like, you know, she wasn't sleeping right. She wasn't eating enough. She was losing weight. She was just acting stressed. There was just something going on. Her mother was like, all right, I know you. You got to tell me what's going on here.
Right.
And finally, Vanessa confessed, you know, I'm feeling a little scared and a little, like, stressed out because I'm being sexually harassed at Fort Hood.
Oh,
and she said it was by a sergeant in particular. And she didn't want to report it because she said, one, they're not going to do anything about it.
Right.
And she said, I've talked to other women and other people that this happened to. Nothing's really gone on. Or she said she was afraid to suffer repercussions because So her mother asked her, you know, who is doing this? Give me a name. Vanessa didn't want to tell her because she was like, I'll report it. Because she was like, I'll report it at some point. I'm a little nervous to get the blowback, but I know I'm going to do it.
Well, and when you're dealing with like higher ups too, I can't imagine.
Well, that's the
fear
problem.
Instilled.
It's the chain of command thing where, like, if it's a higher up, you're really in a
Especially,
bad spot.
Yeah.
And so her mother was like, okay, why don't you tell me the name of this asshole and I'll report him for you.
Right.
Like, so you don't have to.
Oh, but like mama bear vibes.
Yeah. Like, she was just like, you know what? It can be that you confided in me and I chose to report it.
Right.
So it's not totally on you. So she was like, you know what? She didn't tell anybody the name, but she was like, I am going to make a decision to report this asshole. I'm thinking part of this too is just rape culture in general, where unfortunately as women, you immediately feel shame.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just instilled in you. Like, you
Right.
think, one, you don't want to talk about it because it's like, ugh, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you just don't want to even relive it again. And then when you do talk about it, you're like, but did I do something that, like,
to make that happen.
it's just, like, ingrained.
When you did not at all.
Absolutely not. It's totally, like, this awful thing that's just ingrained in most of us that we're like, well, did I lead them to believe that they could do that? You know what I mean? Like,
If
just
you're
start
watching,
second guessing.
it's like if you're watching I'll Be Gone in the Dark, they talk a lot about that in I'll Be Gone in the Dark, and it's like back then and even now, like they talk a lot about how back then it was like that,
It was
and I'm like,
taught back then that
even
it
now
was.
people have that same view on rape.
Absolutely. So I'm sure there was just a whole lot of things stopping her from immediately reporting it. And a lot of, I mean, sexual assault, rape, and sexual harassment is underreported in civilian life, never mind in the military. So it's like, it's just a problem all over. It's just a giant
big fucking
blanket
issue.
problem over the earth, basically. So one of the problems, like we were saying, with sexual assault in the military, because it is a problem, and it's a problem that is now really coming to light with this case.
Which is good.
Yeah, because, you know, it
Good
has
that it's
to
coming
do
to light.
with superiors, and
It's a male-dominated field.
they're investigating their own sexual assaults too. So it's just this endless cycle of, sure, I'll report it, but it's the same people that are going to investigate it that are going to back people up, or they're
Right.
not going to want to do. So it's not smart. It's just not happening.
You have a horse in the race.
And what we're going to see at the end of this, I'll tell you, is Vanessa Guillen's family and her family's lawyers and friends and all these people, and, you know, people in Washington now are trying to get it so that a third party entity is investigating these.
It should always be like that.
And it should always be like that. And just talking about sexual assault in the military in particular, because that's what we're talking about right now. So there was a study released by the Defense Department, and it was part of a congressionally mandated yearly report from the Pentagon. And it was about sexual assault. In part of the study was that they did a focus group, and they talked to soldiers, and they just talked to them, you know, like, how do you think that sexual assault training is going? Have you experienced it? Tell me, basically just trying to get anonymous reports of things. And some of the things they heard from soldiers are like, holy.
Probably terrifying.
Yeah. So somebody who was part of the focus group, a female junior enlisted Marine, said, "Today I bent over to get something, and I didn't know there was anybody behind me. Bent over to grab something really quick, and a sergeant is behind me and said, 'Oh, don't tempt me.'"
Ew, what the fuck?
Like, who the
like,
fuck
don't
do you
tie your
think
shoe
you
in
are?
front of me? Like, okay.
Don't tempt me?
Like, fucking turn around, bro.
How about get control of
How
yourself?
about you're not a wild animal?
Like, are you kidding me right
or
now?
it seems like you might be.
Yeah, it does seem like you might be.
But you're not, let me remind you.
It's disgusting.
The Genesis GV70, with all its award-winning tech and performance, is built to thrill. So you can hit the road, hit the turns, and hit Sport Plus mode for serious acceleration and handling. Inside, you'll find intuitive tech that elevates every driving experience. And wherever you go, the GV70 will have you on the edge of your seat. It's luxury that's built to thrill. Learn more at Genesis.com and feel the GV70.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month, even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending, zero tears. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
There was another one, a junior enlisted female Marine, that said, "When I first got here, all the people in my shop specifically, they live on third deck, and I got put on first deck. And when I asked why, they said, it's because I was going to get raped if I live on third deck."
Oh,
Oh,
way to be blunt about that.
okay. Like,
So maybe we shouldn't have all the people living in third deck that live there if I'm going to get raped if I live there.
It's like, or what? They're just supposed to hear this. Like, you're just supposed to, because you'll get raped up there. That must be horrifying. Can you imagine hearing that?
No.
And being like, oh, cool, what is happening now?
And
like,
just to be so blunt about that.
Yeah, and just to be like, this is how it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and obviously this is not, this is not all soldiers or all military
No,
people,
and that's not what we're saying.
but it's a big problem. And this is just the facts of the matter. It's a big problem. The Guillen family attorney, Natalie Kawam, said she had a briefing in Washington, and this was while Vanessa was missing.
Okay.
And she said that they found at least 2 incidents that she could point to as sexual harassment against Vanessa. She said allegedly a superior officer had once walked in on Vanessa when she was showering, literally sat down and watched her shower.
What the fuck?
Yes. And then a second time, a fellow officer was sexually assaulting her with sexually disgusting remarks, and he was doing it in Spanish. And so, like, he was trying, and I'm assuming he was thinking, like, some people aren't going to hear what I'm saying, basically. Right. And people who did this, or the person who did this, was not named. So we don't know, but those are 2 things that they said definitely happened. She said she never reported her harasser, even though she had told her mom, I'm going to do it. She never got a chance to do it because she went missing shortly after this discussion with her
Because
mother.
somebody probably found out that she was planning to.
Yes. So according to officials on the base, she was last seen around 1 p.m. April 22nd, 2020. She was wearing a black shirt, black Nike sneakers, and light purple, like, jogging pants, like workout pants. She was last spotted in the parking lot of her Regimental Engineer Squadron headquarters, 3rd Cavalry Regiment at the Fort Hood military base.
Okay.
A search of the barracks where she had been in and working around that day turned up her ID, all of her key cards, like everything she would need to get in and out of anywhere.
He wasn't planning to go anywhere.
Her wallet was still there. Yeah, she had just been promoted to specialist. She was definitely not planning on leaving.
Right.
Like, this wasn't an AWOL situation.
Right.
And again, this immediately dispels any idea of that. Because, of course, soldiers do go AWOL sometimes. So that is something that they think of immediately, but this just wasn't the case.
It wasn't here.
So June 21st, Fort Hood Deputy Commander Major General Scott Eflant made a statement about Vanessa's disappearance and asked the public for help. So he gave the information about her disappearance, said this is the last time she was seen. She seemingly just vanished.
Right.
And they said, someone must know something. We just want to bring her home.
Right.
So they were just putting out a plea to people to be like, tell us what you know. The Army initially offered up a $15,000 reward for information. It was later raised to $25,000. And then another $25,000 came from the League of United Latin American Citizens. So,
okay.
It was a pretty big reward at the end. At the press conference outside of Fort Hood on June 23rd, Gloria Guillen, Vanessa's mother, said, I want my daughter back alive. I want her alive because she entered Fort Hood alive. And if God forbid my daughter turns up dead, shut down this base. That girl is my life. I adore her. That's why I'm fighting with nails and teeth until they return her and the guilty pay.
Oh, I can't imagine being her mother.
That was on June 23rd. On June 30th, Fort Hood officials said that they did find partial human remains. They found it close to the Leon River in Belton County, Texas. After they discovered these remains, her sister, Vanessa's sister, Myra, told Time magazine, I feel empty. I feel like they took everything from me.
That's terrible.
So what they claimed happened was on April 22nd, she did go to work at the armory at Fort Hood. She was working there. She was apparently like reading off serial numbers of weapons and doing that kind of thing in the armory. She was in there with Army Specialist Aaron Robinson, who was 20 years old. He was a piece of shit. And she noticed that there were photos on his phone. Now, this is what is told. This is the story that's being told.
Okay.
I don't necessarily believe this story.
I'm sure it has some missing pieces.
She was definitely there. She was working with Aaron Robinson. This is all true. This next part, I don't know if I
don't think it's true.
this. So what was told by one of the suspects later was that she saw photos on his phone while she was there of 22-year-old Cecily Aguilar. Mm-hmm. This was notable to her because Cecily was married to a fellow former soldier. And apparently that's like illegal.
Right.
Like you get kicked out of the military.
Adultery is like super illegal.
So Vanessa was like, dude, that's gross. What the fuck? And so he was like, you aren't going to get me in trouble and ruin my military career for this. And that's when he lost it.
Okay.
And from what I've read, a lot of other people don't agree.
Because it's like, how did it escalate to the point where, like, what?
Like, they're, like, even the family lawyer, Natalie Kawam, said she was like, yeah, that she didn't just walk in there and look at his phone and be like, oh, look, you're committing adultery? Burp, burp, burp.
Right.
Like, that's, no.
You don't just, like, look at somebody's phone so casually like that either. And, like, the photos are just, like, right there.
They also claim that she didn't know Cecily Aguilar, so she wouldn't have known that she was married.
Right.
Like, it just doesn't
it doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up as the thing. But what we do know is whatever it is that set this into motion, he did grab the nearest thing to him, which was a hammer, and he bludgeoned her to death with it inside of the armory.
Okay.
Blood would have gone everywhere.
Right.
Because he demolished her with that hammer.
Awful.
And I'll mention how bad it was in a little while, and you'll see how this doesn't make sense. Because he bludgeoned this girl in the armory with a hammer. The blood would have been, first of all, the amount of blood on him would have been extraordinary.
Insane. Right.
There would have been an exceptionally insane amount of blood on the ceiling because the cast off would have been insane.
Right.
For what he was doing. Because he also was beating her. He bludgeoned Vanessa in her head and face.
And we all know that bleeds a lot.
It would have been on everything. There's no way. Everything. This would have hit everything that was around him. That place would have been a
nightmare
bloodbath.
Scene. Right.
It would have taken so long to clean up. It would have taken so many chemicals to clean up. He would have been completely drenched. So this is crazy. So this did happen. But the whole thing that I'm wondering is like, who cleaned that up? Because
who did?
As
Do we
we're going to
know?
see, the time frame that they are claiming that he cleaned this up in,
it doesn't add up.
It simply is impossible. It just didn't happen.
So what are they saying?
Nothing. They're just bullshitting. That's why everybody's like, whoa.
Now,
what are you guys talking about?
Do you have a theory about what actually did happen?
I'm not really sure. I have a little bit of a theory, but honestly, it's
so convoluted that it's
very
hard.
Confusing. So there would have been blood everywhere. This did happen. He then put her in a pelican case, which is like this really tough, big, like case.
Okay.
It's called a pelican case.
Okay.
And he kept that case in the armory. Mm-hmm. Then apparently just went home to shower. Just
dipped in like
thing,
blood-covered
went
clothing.
Went to the store to get all the things he will need to try to cover this up, like plastic sheeting, lime, quick-dry cement, shovels. And then he contacts Cecily Aguilar, his girlfriend, who he's having an affair with because she's married to another soldier.
Yep.
Because he was like, I need help. Now, he left that armory and he just went home.
Right, like, don't other people have access to the armory?
No one found this completely just nightmare that he left. And also,
that doesn't make any sense.
He left her in a pelican case in the armory for some time, and no one questioned. What? Like, what? I'm just, like, at a loss.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
And when I wondered, like, okay, where are cameras here?
Right.
Apparently, there aren't a lot of cameras at Fort Hood that are, like, surveillance cameras.
I wonder why.
Yeah, it's like, whoa. And again, to clean this up, he would need a myriad of
like a
cleaning
hose.
supplies. He
like
would
a
need
spray
so
hose.
much things. And she was last seen at the armory. They knew that when she went missing, they knew the last place she was working in that armory with Aaron Robinson. Mm-hmm. So who went and checked later? What, like, in this armory? Did someone look in there? Did someone go back and be like, she was last here, maybe we should do some forensics in here?
Do you think they actually even looked?
And, well, it's like, where's the blood?
Right.
If you guys just do some luminol in there, and I'm pretty sure that place would be a fucking Christmas tree. It would be insane if you did that. So did you go in there and just look in there and be like,
Yep,
she's not in here, so let's leave. Like, you didn't think to swab. Like, you could probably just go to any old wall in there.
But
and just
they probably
swab and
didn't
you'd
put
find
that
blood.
effort in. I mean, obviously they didn't.
It is unbelievable to me. Unbelievable to me. Like, and then he walked out after he went and got the case. People saw him dragging that case into his car.
And
in the
nobody
parking lot.
was like, hey, what's that, bro?
And no one was like, what you doing? Like, it's a military base. You should question what this dude is doing.
Right.
Like, it seems weird to me. And it's just so weird. I'm like, just, when I read this, I had no idea.
I didn't know that.
This
those
had
details.
occurred in the armory.
No, me either.
And that, like, there was all this time that was just like,
Unaccounted
what?
for.
So apparently they were claiming that sometime in the span of 43 minutes is when he cleaned that armory.
No.
They're claiming that's the amount of
that
time
would take
he had.
hours and hours and hours.
He's hours and hours,
maybe
and
even
multiple
like,
people.
Like a day, like a full ass day.
And in order to get it clean to the point where you wouldn't be able to.
No.
They were always going to be able to find something if they looked.
But they didn't look, so
It's
that's
like-
the problem.
So specifically, the family's lawyer pointed out that this was not of her looking at the phone and saying, oh, look, it's that girl that's married to that random former soldier.
No.
I'm going to report you. No. She
She didn't even want to report her sexual assault that was going on. Why is she going to fucking report you?
But I think this is her saying, I'm going to report you. You can't do this to me anymore.
Right.
Because I think that Aaron Robinson was sexually assaulting her or harassing her. And she was like, I'm going to report you.
Right.
And he was like, no, you're not. And this
So
was
I'm going to kill you
Because
instead.
if you think about it, of course he's going to call, because later Cecily is claiming that he called her and said, you know, she was going to report our affair, our love. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, I wasn't going to let her take down our love. Like, it was this big, like,
Oh, God, fuck off.
But in reality, he didn't want to call his girlfriend and say, I've been sexually harassing this girl and she was going to report me.
Right.
Come on. Ugh.
Cecily's not still on his side, is she?
Oh, Cecily is a straight
no.
up.
Can we say?
She's. I don't even. There's not a word for her.
What is
There's
so
truly
okay,
not.
keep going.
Cecily's. I mean, Aaron Robinson and Cecily deserved each other.
Did they clean
are
up together?
both-
Did she go end up helping him?
Oh yeah. And wait, she's. I mean, they are both the most evil humans.
Oh my
I
God.
can imagine. The fact, it just makes me angry. So, it's just so frustrating. So after Aaron Robinson bludgeoned Vanessa Guillen to death, went home, did his thing, went to the store, got all
Called
the things
Cecily.
he needed. That's when he called Cecily Aguilar.
Oh, okay.
And he told her he struck a female soldier in the head with a hammer multiple times and that he had killed her. That's what he
And
told her.
Cecily was like, okay.
So she was like, cool. So he brought her body in the Pelican case to the Leon River in Belton, Texas. Somewhere between the hours of midnight and about 4 a.m. is when this all happened.
Okay.
So Cecily came with him because Cecily was like, gotcha, I'm here. Let's do it.
Okay.
They tried to light Vanessa on fire.
Oh my God.
But it wasn't working. So they took a machete and both of them dismembered her together.
And like the other, where did you try to set her on fire on the military base that nobody saw you?
Oh no, this was off base.
Oh, this was off base
near
at this
was
point.
near the Leon River. So Aguilar, according to court documents, said that they both used a machete-type knife to, quote, remove the limbs and the head from the body. They then buried her body parts in 3 different locations, and then later they tried to cover it up by using quick-dry cement to create a vault around all the pieces and bury it with lime and such.
What the fuck?
They then both threw the machete, the hammer, and her phone out the windows as they drove. Now, while all this horrific stuff is happening to poor Vanessa Guillen's body, after her horrific murder, her sister Myra had arrived at Fort Hood to look for her.
Oh my God.
And she's being turned away while her
While this
body
is
is
happening.
being dismembered. And at one point during the investigation, her sister actually spoke to Aaron Robinson on the base and he was pretty uncaring about Vanessa's disappearance.
Oh, I'm shocked.
Yeah, this was after he had murdered her.
Of course.
And he was just kind of like, whatever, like brushed it off.
Yeah, you're a fucking grade A douchebag.
Absolute piece of shit. So Aguilar told investigators that they actually went back to the place where they had buried Vanessa.
Yeah.
On April 26th, so a few days after they had killed. Aaron had killed her. She and Robinson said they again tried to burn the body parts. And then they took hairnets and gloves, and they were wearing those while they were doing this whole thing. And then they burned those, and then they said they burned their clothes that they had been wearing. So they took multiple days, multiple attempts to cover this up. I mean, it was a full-blown... to me, this feels premeditated.
Yeah, it does.
Like, I feel like, because as we're going to learn in a second, she wasn't supposed to be at the armory that day.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, investigators started talking to Robinson April 28th. So, 2 days after they had gone back to the site to try to burn everything even more. Because now they're like, wait a second. Like, all of a sudden, they're like, you were at the armory with her the last time she was seen alive. We got to talk to you.
And apparently you were the only two there.
Exactly. So he's like, he denies everything, and he's like, nope, I was with Cecily Aguilar, and she'll back it up.
So he's like, I wasn't at the armory.
Yeah, well, he was like, during the time, I went there, I did my thing, and then I went home, and she can tell you everything that I was home all night after I worked. So Aguilar did start like confessing to everything later, but at first she was giving him an alibi for that night. So she said, he came to her home, which is like off base. They were together all night. And then she later said, actually, no.
Where's her husband?
Who freaking knows? I don't even know. But so I think they're like estranged slightly.
Oh, okay.
So they're probably not living together,
Sure.
But who really cares? She's the worst. So she later changed that story, and she was like, no, actually, he didn't just come to my house and we sat there all night. We met up in Belton, Texas, which is where the Leon River is. Mm-hmm. And she said that they were they went there to, quote, look at the stars.
Yeah, literally, okay, Romeo and Juliet, go fuck yourselves.
You're an evil twat.
Yeah.
On the night that you were out there dismembering the body of a U.S. soldier.
You want to claim that you just went for a stroll in the park.
You're going to sit there and say you were looking at the stars?
Like you're an innocent...
With your boyfriend who you're having an affair with, who sexually harassed the woman soldier that you helped hack up?
Yeah, that's really
what the
unsettling.
fuck are you two made of? Like the two of them, I'm like, holy shit.
It doesn't make... How are you that evil?
Talk about like poured from the same mold.
And how do you lie like that?
Unbelievable. Well,
without cracking.
On May 18th, witnesses finally came forward and said they saw Robinson carrying that, it's called a tough box too, that Pelican.
Sure.
To his car. And they said it looked crazy heavy.
He was like struggling.
Threw it in his car, drove away, and that was on April 22nd in the evening. So they were like, yeah, we saw him. Mm-hmm. He consented to a search of his phone records at that point, and they saw that he was talking to Cecily Aguilar a ton that night, calling her constantly. They were talking the whole night, which makes it unlikely that they were together at home. So Aguilar was interrogated June 19th, and she was like, I don't really know, when they asked her, like, why would he be calling you when you were together at home?
Right.
He was calling you to get you out there.
Right.
Like, that's
You're
what he was doing. So they checked their locations on both of their phones, because now they're like, yeah, you're dumb.
They're like, Waze says that you were not at home, biatch.
No, well, the Leon River is in Belton, Texas, where she said they were looking at the stars. So I think in her dumb little mind, she was like,
it will place us there.
It'll put us there, and I can pretend that we were just looking at the stars.
But we're just doing something cute and unassuming.
Meanwhile, you're an idiot, and you just placed yourself there.
Yeah, that was really dumb.
The phone search showed that both of their phones were in Belton together April 22nd, April 23rd, and April 26th. So on the evening of April 22nd, that's when they initially brought her to, after she was murdered, they brought her there.
Yep.
It bled into the morning of April 23rd, because remember, it was until like 4 in the morning.
And then they went back.
And then they went back on the 26th. So then they found that so they did a recorded phone call on June 30th. They tapped the phone between Aguilar and Robinson. They found, and he said to her, quote, "Baby, they found pieces. They found pieces." And that was when investigators had discovered human remains. He then sent her text messages of news articles and photos detailing that human remains were found.
Okay.
So they were like, yeah, that's pretty suspicious. Apparently, this is crazy. Apparently, they had searched the area that she was found in on June 21st, and they found remains of a burned tough box in like a burn pile. And they also found disturbed earth, and they smelled the smell of decomp, but they didn't find human remains. So they just were like, well, that's that.
Cool.
And Tim Miller from the Texas EquiSearch said to Nancy Grace on her podcast
love her.
that when they discovered the burn pile in the like burnt pelican case, that the CID, which is the U.S. Army's Criminal Investigation Division, who was out there searching with EquiSearch, they said, they were like, yeah, I don't think that's relevant to the case.
Oh, I don't think that burned box is relevant.
Like, so wait.
And that smell of human decomp, I don't think it has anything to do with that murder that happened.
And he said they had to push them to even consider it. And one of the EquiSearch people had to Google an image of the Pelican case, what it would look like, to show him that it was the case they used.
Right.
And only
they knew that, though.
Only then did they agree to go out and search again. And this is after it had already been reported that Robinson, a prime suspect, was seen leaving the armory the night Vanessa disappeared with a Pelican case.
Right. I don't know why they thought it was just going to go away, but they did. And they were like, no, we don't need to come back here.
Like, you can sit there after being told that people saw him bringing a Pelican case out of the armory when she was last seen, and it was heavy and he was struggling, and now he's acting like a creep, and you're finding all this shit, and then you find a burnt fucking Pelican case in Belton near the Leon River where phones were pinging.
I think it's just a coincidence.
And you're looking at this burn pile and going, that's probably not relevant to the case. Are you fucking kidding me?
No, because they didn't want to have to deal with this. That's what it comes down to.
I was reading this and I'm like,
that's the shitty truth of this case, is that
be real.
They didn't want to deal with this. They wanted to just move on from it, and they were just gonna be like, well, we don't know what happened.
Why was this fuck being protected? And it's like, you know what? Well, Vanessa was one of your own.
Right.
What are you doing for her? That's insane.
That's the thing.
So, when U.S. Marshals, the police, and the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force confronted Robinson about all this, because they were like, hey,
what's up?
We found human remains. We found the Pelican case. We found all these phone records. We have all this shit against you.
You're sending a lot of texts.
They were like, we'd like to give you a polygraph. And he was like, no. So he refused a polygraph.
Good. That always looks good.
Somehow escaped the base on foot before they could arrest him, wearing only a pair of shorts. And it's just insane.
Like, where did you think you were going to go, dude?
And according to the Fort Hood public statement, they said, quote, while law enforcement agencies minus Army CID special agents attempted to make contact with the suspect reportedly displayed a weapon and took his own life. So the incident took place in Kylene, Texas, where Fort Hood is located. Mm-hmm. He basically got a gun, fled, and when they tried to confront him, he put it to his head and shot himself. Mm. So, and it's so funny to me. I'm like, wow. So you've got enough balls to bludgeon a fellow soldier to death in an armory, and then put her in a Pelican case, take her out into the middle of nowhere, grab your girlfriend who is cheating on her husband with you, and have her help you hack her into pieces with a machete. Pour quick, dry cement over her. Pour the machete and the hammer.
Try to burn her at one point.
And her phone out your windows. But you are too much of a little tiny baby to deal with the fucking repercussions of your actions?
Yes.
Wow. Like, wow.
I'm not shocked.
And that makes me think, I'm like, you know what? If he had lived and they had been able to arrest him and do an actual investigation, the shit that would have come out.
Because I think that there was a lot more.
A lot would have spilled out.
And I'm sure a lot more is still going to come out.
Yeah.
Of people that maybe just don't feel safe yet.
I know
forward.
That dude was a dangerous piece of shit.
Predator.
And I'm sure there's a lot more that came out about that.
And was he 20, did you say?
He was 20 years old.
20 years old.
20.
And you're that fucking evil.
How? Well, Vanessa Guillen's phone records said that her last outgoing text message was to Robinson's phone.
Okay.
According to, and so what it was she had been working that day, obviously in the armory, but she wasn't meant to work that day. She got called in.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can say who called her in.
Was it Robinson that texted her?
I think it must have been Robinson. They're saying it wasn't.
Of course they are.
But I don't believe that.
I don't believe anything they have to say.
And there's been like weird stories that have changed. Like the witnesses who first saw her in the parking lot first said 1 p.m., then switched it to 11 a.m. And then again, she was called into work that day. No one's saying who will do it. It was her day off.
It's
if
sketchy.
It wasn't
She was set
Robinson,
up.
who the fuck pulled her in there, and why did they pull her in there? Was it somebody pulling her in there for this to happen to her?
Mm-hmm.
Did they have shit ready to clean up that armory? Did they know that they were going to be doing this?
Probably.
Fuck, did they have sheeting? Why? I mean, was
Already?
it Dexter style, and they just had the whole thing set up for her?
Probably.
We don't know. I mean, anything's possible at this. It sounds nuts to even say that, but it's like, is it nuts?
No, and the more you dig into where this happened, the more shit that comes out.
And it's just like they took a machete in the middle of the night and burned her body and cut her
Why
into
do you just
pieces.
have a machete also? Like
Nothing
what?
is out of the realm of possibility here.
No.
Now, I said before that I was going to mention how badly he bludgeoned her. Her face was beaten so badly that they couldn't piece her face back together.
That's horrific.
And they could not use dental records to identify her
Crushed
because
her
her
teeth.
teeth were shattered.
Oh my god.
They had to use pieces of hair and positively identified her through DNA analysis on July 5th.
That's horrific.
That's the only way that they could find her. Also, her mother doesn't know the details of what happened to her. She refuses to listen to anything. She won't.
I don't blame her. I would never want
I
to
don't
know
blame her
any of
either.
that.
Major General Scott Efland, I think it is, deputy commander of 3 Corps at Fort Hood, he said at a press conference that, quote, "The criminal investigation has not found any connection between sexual harassment and Vanessa's disappearance."
Yeah, sure. Bye.
Shocking. And Senior Special Agent Damon Phelps has said that they looked at the interactions between Robinson and Vanessa. They looked at all the evidence that they could find, and they found no evidence of sexual harassment.
Yeah.
First of all, the fact that they are investigating their own shit is unreal. Like, that's so biased, it's not even funny. And then, of course, you're not going to find any evidence of sexual harassment. Do you think he was going around doing it in front of people who he knew would talk?
Well,
no. Or he was doing it in front of nobody. He was doing it in private.
and of course, you're not going to find it because you're the one that went out to the crime scene and saw burnt evidence and was like, I don't think that has to do with it.
I don't think that's relevant.
You're probably not looking super hard.
Like, come on, fellas. Like,
Yeah.
you're telling me you can't find evidence of sexual harassment?
People,
Of course you can.
This is that people like this need to think of like their moms, or if they have a daughter, think of your daughter or
know.
your sister. It's
We'll
like, why don't
just
you,
move
what if
on.
this happened to you and your family?
Yeah, that's the thing.
How about that?
Well, luckily, Cecily Aguilar, the living suspect, is charged with 3 counts of conspiracy to tamper with evidence. And when a judge asked her, I have never wanted to punch someone so hard in my life.
What, even
When the
BTK?
judge asked her if she understood the charges against her, first she shook her head no.
What don't you understand?
You don't understand what you did?
And also
You dumb
speak up.
asshole? Oh, no. And then eventually she said, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
I just am like,
She just doesn't give a
yeah,
fuck.
sure.
You dismembered a human
She's
body.
an evil piece of shit.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Well, she faces up to 20 years in prison.
That's
and
it?
a $250,000 fine, which it's like she should get a lot more than that.
She dismembered a body
Yeah.
multiple days in a row.
And the family's lawyer, Natalie Kawam, has said, like, she's a terrorist. She should get the same, like,
Yeah.
she dismembered a U.S. soldier.
Right.
Like, she's a terrorist. And she is. So she pled not guilty because, you know, she's a twat. But her bond was denied.
Good.
And she has to stay in jail until her trial, which no date has been set for. The reason her bond got denied is because in a recorded conversation from the jail, she told someone that she was planning to leave the country and she had $5,000 that she was going to leave the country with.
And
they
she
were like,
didn't fucking think that they were like, have you
No.
ever watched an episode of anything?
this is the same monster. I can't even call her like a woman or a human.
she's
It's
not.
a monster that was like, if I say we were in Belton, Texas that night looking at the stars, it'll place us there, but they won't ever suspect anything. And it's like, you just placed
your
yourself
alibi is looking at the stars. Like,
at the fucking
you suck.
scene. You're an idiot. So they were like, yeah, you're a flight risks, and you literally just admitted that you were going to leave the country.
They're just like, they're like, do you understand? And she's like, she shakes her head no, and they just play the recording of her being like, I'm gonna leave the country.
And she's like, yeah, sure. Why not? Well, the U.S. attorney, Mark Frazier, said that she also deleted her Google account while she was in jail, and then she called someone to ask the person to delete her Facebook page.
How did she delete her Google account while in jail?
Who knows? But I'm also like...
Excuse me?
I'm also like, what
was on
there?
your Facebook? Also, they can get
deleted.
it. They
Come
can
on,
get
get
into a
outta here,
Facebook if they
you
want
dummy.
to. I can't wait to hear what comes out.
Well, her husband, this was just an interesting note, because I was like,
Divorced her?
oh, honey.
Oh, God. Is
Her
he going to stand
husband
by her?
said she was becoming a more religious person recently.
Yeah, I believe
Sounds
that.
it.
Don't they always?
Well, and he said, quote, there was a time when she really wanted to know more about the relationship that I have with God, and she would just really draw in on that. Yeah, she really drew in on that when she took a machete and hacked up a U.S. soldier
Right.
with the dude that she was having an affair
I
with.
feel like God probably doesn't feel too good about that.
I don't think she was getting religious, dude.
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
I think you are looking at this with rose-colored glasses, and you need to just take them off real
That's
quick.
like when Son of Sam was like, I'm Son of Hope now.
Yeah, I'm Son of Hope
like,
now. And it's like,
It's
nah.
a little too late, bro.
You can't murder people and dismember them and then
No.
pretend that you're religious. You can't.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
That's pretty sacrilege, I'll say.
That's real sacrilege, I'm saying. So Vanessa's family has asked for a congressional investigation into the Fort Hood base because lots of shit is going down there.
Yeah.
Another interesting note that ties back to the Fort Hood military base, and that is making people be like, whoa, is this connected, is June 19th, private in the 150th Composite Transportation Company, Gregory Morales, his remains were found lightly burned in a field in Guillen, Texas, less than 10 miles from Fort Hood. He had been missing and assumed AWOL from Fort Hood from August 19th. When his remains were found not far away from where Vanessa's was. And he was lightly burned.
Yup.
Yeah. So when he was reported missing on the 20th of August, he was initially reported as AWOL. They immediately were like, he's AWOL. And
Because you can wrap that up in a neat little package.
and later, when they couldn't find him, he was labeled as a deserter.
Nice.
Like they put him on the list. So he was set to be discharged just days after he went missing. So that,
Awful.
to me, that doesn't say AWOL or deserter. He was set to be discharged. Why would he desert days before he was going to be discharged?
Nobody would do that.
Like, is anyone thinking with their brain?
Yes. Me.
So his status was eventually changed from deserter to active duty after his remains were found.
Good.
This allows his family to bury him with full military honors.
As he should be.
But they had to, like, fight for it.
Which is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. And the Army CID offered up a $25,000 reward for information about his death, but they didn't do it until after a reward was offered for Vanessa Guillen in her case.
Because then they realized that they had to.
His family had requested one to be offered in September 2019, a month after he went missing. They
Right.
were asking for that reward money to be up. Nothing got put up for him. They immediately assumed he just went AWOL and didn't even...
It's ridiculous.
His clothing was found shredded and scattered around the area. No suspects have been brought forth in connection with his death. And again, very close to where Vanessa was found.
That's weird. And
so
lightly
people
burned.
are like, yeah. And so people are like, what is this about?
Right.
His family says the military didn't give them any updates searching for him. And in fact, they found his car in January 2020, never told the family.
What?
His sister-in-law had to dig and search and found out that the car had been sold at auction in Dallas. Family was like, why didn't you tell us that you found his car, but not him? Like, that seems like something you would tell a family. That's something that's just hanging over too now, and I'm hoping that that family is going to get some answers because they deserve answers.
Yeah,
I
any
mean,
family
Jesus.
that loses their child or sibling or something like that.
Yeah.
like,
So there was an increase in sexual assaults in the military, reported sexual assaults of 3%.
Wow.
From the last time it was reported. That doesn't bode well for like a good trend. If we're going
No.
up, it's not a good trend. It should be going down. And then I found this information on Protect Our Defenders, which is a really good website to read about like sexual assaults in the military. And this is men and women.
right.
And it's Protect Our Defenders because it's trying to give information to help the people who defend our country not feel, unsafe while they're trying to protect our country, because they're doing enough dangerous shit. They don't need to be worrying about this on top of it. So on the website, it says the reports that are restricted, where survivors confidentially disclose an assault without stating an official investigation, saw a 17% increase from last year, with 2,126 reports.
Wow.
The increase shows a, quote, clear lack of faith in the chain of command. Protect Our Defenders said in a statement about the report, the organization supports and advocates for service members who have been sexually assaulted. So it does. It shows, because these are the people who went confidentially to report it, but didn't want to open any investigation. So they went just to be like, here it is. I know you're not going to do anything about it, so don't even bother.
Right.
And that does. It shows a clear lack of confidence.
Obviously.
They're like, nothing's going to be done about this.
Which is sad.
How sad is that?
Real sad.
So there has been a social media campaign going around called hashtag I am Vanessa Guillen, where service members, men and women, can share their experiences with sexual assault in the military and what was done or not done about it. If you go on Twitter and type that in, you're going to see a ton of stories, and it's heart-wrenching.
I can't imagine.
Because when you just keep thinking about it, you're like, these people are like laying their lives on the line for the country. And now on top of the stress that involves, which is unimaginable.
I was going to say.
You're dealing with this whole other set of stressors that it's like, it just shouldn't be a thing.
With people that you think have the same common ground and goals as you.
Respect and morals and ethics.
And they
it's
don't.
Like, holy shit. So July 30th of this year, so soon, Vanessa Guillen's family is introducing a bill called the I Am Vanessa Guillen Bill, and it would allow service members, men and women, to report sexual assaults to a third-party entity instead of having to bring it up their chain of command or go to their superiors.
That's the whole thing
Because
that they need.
You need an unbiased third-party entity to sit there and look at it through non-biased eyes.
That's actually going to investigate something.
They need to look at both sides and see it for what it is, not somebody who's totally invested in the whole thing.
Right. And is probably like potentially friends with your assaulter.
And July 30th, they are going to be doing like a peaceful protest in Washington where they're going to present the bill. They are going to present it to Trump. And I hope for the best. And I hope that he does the right thing. I hope it gets signed into law. And
we'll
I think
see.
The family deserves it. And the military deserves it.
Yeah, they do.
The military members deserve this.
To feel safe.
They deserve to feel safe. They deserve to know that people care about what's happening to them when they're not just on the front lines. So that is where we are now. If any more updates of this case come forward, we will certainly update with an update episode. But right now, that is the case of Vanessa Guillen.
Damn. That was crazy. Good job.
Thank you. And I hope that, something positive comes out of this. I really do.
I do too.
And I hope we find out more about what was going on here, because there was a lot more.
Well, I think we are going to find out more stories.
And Gregory Morales. I want to know more about his situation.
Yeah. I want that family to be able to have some kind of peace.
Closure.
Well, as always, you can follow us on Instagram at
Morbid Podcast.
Hit us up on Twitter.
A Morbid Podcast.
Or send us a Gmail.
morbidpodcast@gmail.com.
We hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
keep
it
weird. But not so weird that you're a jackass and you light somebody's body on fire and then you call your girlfriend to go look at the stars together, even though you're not really actually looking at the stars, and like the stars are stupid, so it's dumb. Bye. The stars aren't stupid. I actually like them.
So not I love stars. She can't ruin stars for us.
No.
Bye.
The stars are blind.